God forbid they're going to be going on.
A very pleasant good afternoon as we welcome you into the Lion Country Kia Goon and Ironhead show on Sports Radio 98.7 The Fox as we get you ready for the whiteouts Saturday night, Penn State and Oregon. It is what we have been waiting for probably pretty much since the Notre Dame game ended last season. Lots to get into and lots of different directions we could go. I want to start just one of the things that I do think is special about college football versus pretty much any other sport is games like this build up to it. I know for big NFL games and like you had some build up for sure for like an Eagles-Chiefs matchup or the Ravens-Lions, and I get it that there's excitement there. It's not like this. It's not where an entire community, and really two communities, are just spending an entire week licking their chops, waiting for the seconds to tick away so that they can go either watch their teams on TV or, better yet, watch your teams compete in the stadium. And regardless of what happens Saturday night, and we'll obviously get into that, and it'll play itself out, and we'll react accordingly, the build-up for these games, the anticipation for these games is just so fun. It is, to me, again, what makes college football above everything else. And I mean, obviously I love college wrestling and we build up big meets, and, the anticipation for the NCAA championships is certainly very special, and maybe could be similar in that regard in trying to, all right, I want to see this matchup and that matchup. Going into this, it's just everybody all right, I think Drew Aller is going to play great. I think Drew Aller is going to be the guy that ends up throwing the interception again. I think Penn State will win it because of the kicking game. I think Oregon's going to surprise everybody. Whatever it is, it's fun because we're going to find out, but we want to talk about it. You have tens of thousands of folks from Oregon and from Pennsylvania and beyond that this is what we're locked in on this week. It's just fun having the anticipation leading into it.
Absolutely. I mean, sorry to cut you in there, Booch, but I did hear that this is one of the hardest tickets in the history of Oregon away games. They had to go into their their whole point system and stuff like that to see who got the highest point holders, and then because somebody was like, it's just funny people talking about tickets and they're like, oh, I need to get 6 together, and it's like, dude, it's Friday. It's Thursday of a game week. Like, are you kidding me? Like, I know there's always an option out there. And somebody's like, well, wait, see if Oregon brings their tickets back and they don't use them all because it's a long trip.
It is.
Somebody said it was literally the hardest ticket to get for an away game for Oregon fans and stuff like that. And their like, Duck Club, or I guess whatever you would call it. But yeah, I mean, this is what college is all about, in my opinion. The whole college atmosphere, the whole college football world, and that is that the whole community gets together and we're all rally around the same thing, and that's a Saturday night football game or a Saturday all day affair, and I think that's the beauty of what makes college football great.
They sold out their entire allotment. Oregon did, which does not typically happen, by the way. I don't think Ohio State does that consistently, and so my wife was actually tracking it. The seats next to ours in Beaver Stadium were open and on the market these last couple of weeks. They just sold this morning, guys. You want to take a guess what the per ticket price they sold for was?
Let me think. Where you and your wife sit, so that's like next to the president's section in the suites,
Yeah, right.
You're paying about 10 to 12,000 a game. Tickets.
Yeah, so we are we're about on the goal line in the north end of the stadium.
I'll say
northwest
each.
corner.
I was going to go 500, so we're in the same ballpark. I was going to say 500 each.
And what was Goon's guess?
450.
Yeah, you guys, you know what? It's funny. It's the average of your two guesses. They were 475.
Is that right?
I'm not making that up. It was 475 a pop, and that's before you add in the Ticketmaster fees. So probably add an extra $1.50, and I'm not talking $1.50.
That is absolutely.
You guys can have my tickets. Just I'm going to give me $3,000. Take my tickets. I'm going to buy a television and a beer meister and a new couch.
How about it?
And I'll be just fine.
Yeah, but that is the other thing that I think is, and I hear you, but there is something special about being in the stadium for a college game generally. The whiteout game in particular, Booch, and I think I've mentioned this before, but like my one nephew went to his first whiteout game last year, and now he went to Kent State in Ohio, but obviously has been a Penn State fan and went with a buddy of his last year, and they're like, yeah, we're not going to miss that again going forward. And they got their tickets, I don't even know, way back over the summer, and they'll be here this weekend. There is something about being part of that, I think even more so college experience. Just, again, you factor in all the things we talk about with the band and you just feel that community presence. There's something different about being there in person. And yeah, I mean, the tailgating Saturday is going to be unlike any other experience that we will have.
It'll be okay. It won't be that bad. It won't be that big. Nah, that's the best part of it. I'm just the build up of the whole week, the whole day, and getting into the whiteout at nighttime. It's just how the crescendo of the whole day. I get there first thing. The sun's up. There's a little dew on the ground, a little fog in the air, a little coolness, a little crisp. And then as the day goes on, it warms up and this and that. And then the sun starts going down again. And you spent the whole day out in the parking lots drinking and having a good time. And then head into the game. And it's just, I just love everything about it. And it's like you're looking at your clock. You're like, what time is it? You look at your clock. It's like 10 o'clock. You look at your clock like an hour later, and it's 4:30. And you're like, what the hell happened? And you're just
totally. It flies by so quickly. It's unbelievable that you're out there. Goon, you and I are in the 12-hour club. We are there when the gates open, and it seems to go quickly. And I think I was telling you, Ironhead, when I was filling in here on Tuesday. But Goon, I'll repeat it for your benefit and that of the listening audience. You can find this on YouTube real easily. You look up this video. I just loved watching it. Europeans react to the whiteout. It's this dad and his son are watching, I guess it was ESPN published on YouTube. You can find this too. The Skycam view of the 2019 whiteout against Michigan. So you can watch the whole game from the Skycam. So no commentary or anything, just that view of the stadium as it's going around on the wire overhead. And so they're watching this. And these are two people who had never seen anything like it before. And it's like such great, wholesome content. Their reactions of just complete amazement at how loud it is, how many people there are, how cool it looks. And so watching kind of watching it through their eyes, it made me realize that as much as I try to step back and count my blessings, like it is almost impossible to not take for granted that we have this like right in our backyard. And this is one of the spectacles that is envied all over the country and even the world, right? And it's such a tough ticket to get. It's really cool what it has grown into over the last 20 years, going all the way back to that misty night against Ohio State in 2005.
Yeah, think about that. It is world renowned. You don't see more people. People are doing stripe outs and blackouts and this and that. You don't really specifically see the actual. You're not seeing it. I know we borrowed it, right, Booch? Where's it come from?
The Winnipeg Jets.
Where's the idea come from?
The Winnipeg Jets / Phoenix Coyotes, right?
And then it didn't turn into didn't the Minnesota Wild at one point have a little whiteout, something going on there? Where the hockey crowd,
I guess now what's the Coyotes turned into Utah, right? I forget what they are. They're the Utah Mammoth. Is that the mascot, Ironhead? Do you know?
No, they're the Utah Hockey Club.
Yeah, no, it's
they finally got a name now.
Yeah, they should not. We were trying to help them out. They should have been the Utah Sting. With the because they're the Beehive State and all of that. That would have been such a better name, but they did not listen to the advice of
I've never heard of the Beehive thing. What is that?
Yeah, that's the
Utah, state of Utah is the Beehive.
Yes,
never knew this.
Oh boy,
see there. What is it public knowledge?
I didn't know that either. I'm going to admit. No, I didn't know.
Right. They must not teach on the eastern seaboard of the state.
Perhaps not.
I know Kyle Whittingham, Jim McMahon, and that's about it. The Jazz, I guess, yeah. Karl Malone. So I do think with the Ducks staying in Altoona this weekend, you guys know the story about the Michael Jordan flu game, right? Like there's a rumor that some Utah Jazz fans poisoned pizza that was delivered to his room. That was actual food poisoning. Well, I don't know if you've ever had a look at Altoona style pizza. I don't think you would even need to do anything to it to create food poisoning. You just need to serve it.
On that. It's horrendous looking.
Yeah. Just get the Ducks some Altoona style pizza.
I've never even tried that. But you know, are they flying into State College? Do you know that?
I do not believe so. Because there's that whole thing with the runway,
right? Because that's what I would say.
Harrisburg.
Somebody was telling me, no, they're flying in the State College. They're flying in the State College, is what our friend to my right here is telling me. And then they're driving to Altoona. And I said, why would they do that? They could just fly into Pittsburgh in their big plane, because everybody's complaining about the size of the runway in State College. So if they fly directly into Pittsburgh, they could drive to Altoona, and it's right there. So I don't think they're flying in the State College, personally. So somebody to my right is wrong. Ironhead's to my left here, so we're good here. You're all right, Ironhead.
You know what? I'm sorry.
I don't know.
They probably can land in State College. The whole thing is taken off with the amount of fuel that's on the plane at takeoff, right? It's not that you can't land in State College. It's the weight of the
by halfway.
Yeah,
they can fly the big plane in here. It's just getting it out of here with the amount of jet fuel that they need.
Yeah,
and so they're probably going to have to stop in like Denver, Illinois, or on the way back. That's the issue.
Right. Yeah.
So they are.
So so apparently they are flying into U Park and then driving to Altoona.
Wow. And was this solicited by the Altoona people, or was it solicited by the Oregon people out there trying to do this? We have any idea?
Here's the version of the story in my head canon, guys, is that some intern in the Oregon athletic department just started Googling towns in Pennsylvania, a couple weeks before this game, and have no idea. Like they think that Altoona is basically like where Boalsburg is, and so this is just going to be a horrible surprise for everyone.
Oh, no. Now, don't get me wrong. When we play at Michigan or Michigan State, we stay in Ypsilanti. So we don't stay like in East Lansing or in Ann Arbor, I don't think, normally when we're playing most of our away games. We do like to get a little bit away. I know we used to, the old man, and but I wonder if like they actually wanted to get away. But it's always been like they always used to stay at the where would they stay? Where was the old place downtown across from the auto port? Because there's two places they stay now, so they're all over the damn place now.
The Ramada.
The Ramada was where they used to stay for years, and then the new Mountain View, whatever that. I know Ohio State has stayed out there in the past. Now, in the past couple times they've come in. So, but I just want to know if it was like what you said. An intern was like, hey, there's a place in Altoona that's got pretty cheap hotel rooms. But there's a 45-minute drive on a game day. And then there was the old story from back in the day of Bear Bryant asking Joe to get the state troopers and the helicopters to block the road for he could get to Harrisburg quicker. So I wonder if that's set up through Penn State, the state police, who coordinates all of that. Do they have a lead drivers and stuff like that to bring the team in on Saturday? It's just a weird situation.
I would think. Yeah.
So they're going to come in. And then I also thought about this, Booch and Jeff. I thought about this, and that would be that if they fly in, he says, if they fly into State College, do they go practice, get a walkthrough at the stadium, or they just bust them out of there, and then the first time they actually see the stadium would be like 3:00 in the afternoon on Saturday? I don't know. I don't know how I would want to handle that. It's got to be pretty. I always said that when you're coming up from the airport, coming up towards the university, and then Beaver Stadium just appears. out of Tottery's area, you know what I mean? And it's just like this huge monstrosity. I often like ask guys, what was like your first like feeling when you pulled up and you like turn the corner and there's this 110,000 seat arena stadium right in the middle of nowhere? I mean, it's got to be like, whoa, holy crap, what just happened here? Because if you land at the University Park Airport and you drive over there, you don't see nothing. And then all of a sudden there's a 110,000 seat stadium right there.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see what they're going to be doing.
Well, Ironhead, didn't one of the
Academy.
cupcakers who came up here a couple weeks ago use Memorial Field for their run through? Like Nevada or FIU or somebody?
Yeah, I think it was FIU. Yes, one of them for sure did, because now I'm trying to remember when we had the discussion about it, because they were there prior to the state. It was a state high home game.
Yeah.
And the visiting team was over there at Memorial Field earlier in the day doing their, walkthrough preparation. That's a good, I would think, the fact that you've not been here before.
You want to get a little lay of the land, like, you want to get a lay of the land. I would want to.
Yeah, I would think if you're Oregon, you want to at least poke your head in the stadium there on Friday ahead of time. Although, I don't know that there's any great advantage or disadvantage whether you do that or not. Really.
Well, the advantage is they're not sitting there at 3 o'clock in the afternoon on Saturday, and that's the first time they see the stadium is, right 5 hours before the game. Might be a little awestruck type of thing.
They're probably going to go right to the Railroad Museum, though, don't you think?
Yeah, you're right. They're going to go with Horseshoe Curve real quick and get the museum and get that real quick. But, I mean, to go back to when I played, we never, ever walked through opposing stadiums. That was never our thing. I remember doing it one time, and that was versus the the Gophers, because the Twins were playing, and they were breaking down the field or whatever, so Joe wanted us to get a feel for the stadium and feel for the turf, and then the dome, and it really didn't really affect anything, I don't think.
Did you do any kind of a walkthrough the day before the game, or you just traveled?
Never. That's never really our thing.
You didn't practice on Friday, so it was just like meetings at the hotel, or what do you do to
away games? Yeah, definitely. We for sure did not go play. We didn't go to Michigan. We didn't go to Michigan State. Like I said, we usually stayed a little bit away. We usually didn't stay. I mean, the only time that we stayed as close as the university as we could was Illinois. And we all know what happened on that day in '94 with the power outages and stuff like that. I guess we never really saw the stadiums until we first went in there on game day. So Michigan in '94. First time I ever saw Michigan Stadium was when we were playing in there a couple hours later.
Huh. But you didn't do any kind of
Joe was not a big walkthrough guy. Even for like home games, Joe wasn't like I said, Joe was a maniac about your legs. Yeah. Getting off your feet. And you think about
I think that's part of why to me, I mean, I obviously had success with it, but like with and wrestling's a little different sport, but like we won't go to the venue, but like they're going to get, and again, I know it's different. They're obviously watching weight and all of that stuff too, but I'm just thinking you'd want to get to be on a plane and then to just go to the hotel. I think at some point you want to stretch those legs out and at least get your mind thinking about, I realize you can think about football in the hotel room. I don't know. I just always assumed that there was some, maybe not at the stadium, but that somewhere you'd at least just, hey, let's get a half hour where we're stretching our legs and, getting a little bit of exercise.
No, we definitely had that. It was the later the game, the more meetings you had throughout the day.
Yeah.
They were worse. Yeah, I'd rather go to a field. I'd rather go to the practice field. But like if you can think of like Oregon lands, they got to load the buses up, get off the tarmac, go to the stadium, unload, change, walk around the field if they're going to do a walkthrough or a sweat through. If it's truly a walkthrough, when they can wear their sweatsuits out there and just stand around. And because a lot of the guys, I mean, it didn't really matter to the linemen, but I know that it mattered a lot to the skill players, and that was they always wanted to get a feel for the field. For their cleat usage and stuff like that, what kind of cleats they want to use. That was always a big thing, and it never really meant anything to us as linemen, because you were just going to wear what felt comfortable. But all the younger guys, not the younger guys, but the smaller guys, the faster guys, the skilled guys, or unskilled, depending how you think it. They want to decide what shoes they want to wear, and they'll rock them out, and they'll get all that done. So I got to tell a story.
I'm curious, just since you brought it up. Yeah, I'm just curious. Did you guys do intra-squad scrimmage in Beaver Stadium just to get used to being inside there like the team does now, or did not even do that?
Yes. Yeah, we definitely had a lot of scrimmages in the stadium.
Okay.
Yeah, it was, I've always said, like, what was it? 2 weeks ago was the last game we played here? Yeah, so Villanova. So the Villanova Sunday, me and Landon had that show down at the bookstore. And he was talking that, like, that they were bringing in, it was the night lights and stuff like that. So they were going to have a practice on a Sunday night at the Beaver Stadium to see about the lighting and stuff like that. And to see, the different lighting and stuff like that. I'm like, that's a whole 2 weeks before the game. But I guess you want to get as many opportunities to get on the field and work underneath the lights as possible. Because it is a little bit of a different thing, I guess. But I don't know how much different that really is. I mean, football's still football when it comes down to it. But again, it gets into the skill player versus I'm just blocking the guy ahead of me versus you're trying to catch a ball that's coming out of the light system. You may be, you're going to work on that type of thing. And, and then, James is one of those guys who's going to cover every possible scenario. And he's a freak, a control freak like that, and doesn't want to leave any stone unturned.
Yeah. Couple things just from the comments, watching from Happy Valley, our friend Danae. That's Jeff's bride. That's nuts. Come to our tailgate. I will be there. It'll be fun. 35-20 Penn State. Wosu and the defense keep Oregon backed into the student section the first half, giving the offense time to get ahead. That would be just splendid if it works out that way.
I do like the potential of our special teams units to be a weapon in this game, guys.
I do too. I've spent more time since Tuesday just kind of going through the check marks that we did, and I just don't think there's many areas. The one area, I guess, maybe if you're trying to check an intangible for Oregon would be, I do think the pressure, whatever that means and for whatever it's worth, is squarely on Penn State, meaning that a Penn State loss is going to be viewed, as we talked about Tuesday, Booch. I mean, it's the end of the world. The sky is falling. Understanding that in the overall scope of things, it's certainly not the case. But in the moment, it is going to feel like it's the end of the world. I think Oregon truly is looking at this as, man, what a cool opportunity. Yeah, if we lose this, big deal. We're expected to lose. It's on the road. It's against a national title contender. We'll learn a lot either way. And by God, if we win, look out. All of a sudden, we are now squarely in the national championship picture. I mean, that is the one area where, pressure, however you view it, I think squarely is on Penn State with James Franklin's record and everything that comes into play.
Our veterans.
I think that is clearly the case. But everything else, the fact that this is a home game, it's a night game, the whiteout crowd, again, even just you go head-to-head matchups and the things that usually make a difference in a big game. And again, you can get carried away sometimes, I think, in, the turnovers favor Penn State. Penn State's done a great job. You just inevitably, there are games along the way where a team that is really good at taking care of the ball just has one of those days. And, it's 3 or 4 turnovers in a game, and it happens. It's part of football, and you can't really explain it. But as we talked about Tuesday, going into this thing, Drew Aller has been one of the things he's been really good at, very consistent, is taking care of the ball. I know you can point to the Oregon game last year, fine. But at home, It just feels like kind of all of those intangibles. And I think if you go through man for man, unit for unit, on paper, I think Penn State's the better football team. I think this is there's a reason Penn State has been ranked second at the start of the season and second or third in all the polls right now, and it's because most people objectively analyzing this think that this team is stocked with talent so that it should contend for a national title. Well, a team that should contend for a national title, regardless of the opponent, should win in an atmosphere like Penn State is going to have at home Saturday night.
It's not our first big game for this crew. I mean, it might be for a lot of Oregon people, a lot of Oregon players, and that's why I think they don't have much to lose. It's like they're just going to go out there and throw it out there and zing the ball around and see what they can do. Or the pressure is on Penn State. And, Booch, you've heard the three of us have talked about, we talk about hockey game sevens. When there's that pressure from your home crowd to get it going early, and then if the opposing team can withstand the first 10 or 15 minutes of that initial onslaught from the home team and the home crowd, that okay, they can settle down, and then the home people will start turning. You'll start hearing some boos if we're not playing well early in this game, and then do our guys start to get a little feel a little more pressure, this and that, because they should not feel pressure playing in the Orange Bowl, playing in the playoff game. Was a lot more pressure than playing in the for a regular season game on a whiteout this year. I mean, I think we should be better prepared for that than they are. So, there is a lot of pressure on us to make it happen. And I hope that our guys don't feel that because that also can work against them. And if it doesn't, they don't come out perfect. The players start they start pressing and they start making mistakes. Let's hope that doesn't happen.
Yeah, the crowd and the players, everyone on Penn State's side, just can't be wound too tight. You can't. There is a lot on the line in this game, but you can't go into it whether you're, just a member of the crowd who can make that tiny contribution by making the environment more hostile, or a player or a coach. You can't be thinking about it like that. You can't be thinking about anything other than the four quarters of the game. And yeah, I do worry about that a little bit, Goon. The home game 7 analogy is great, and now also kind of makes me more sick to my stomach. So thanks very little for that. But I mean, honestly, to all my fellow Philly/Penn State fans out there, listen, it's one thing to boo them off the field when they're playing like crap against FIU, which I'm all for. You got to let them know that's not the standard. That's tough love. None of that in the whiteout. You just got to be 4 quarters of positive energy, lift these guys up. And at one point or another, I think they realize if they win this game, it's going to be because they're the better team. And they just got to play like it. I really think, to your point, they're more experienced. It's a deeper roster than Oregon has. And that's with all due respect to the bang-up job they are doing recruiting and hitting the transfer portal out there with all of that Nike money. This is a really, really good team Penn State has. They're ranked number 2 in the nation for a reason. I think they got the better roster. They just need to go out and play like it.
Yeah, and I think, it's all in how you look at it and how you deal with pressure. And I do think and hope, with the veteran nature of this team and with James Franklin's, consistent message, hey, just go out and have fun with it. Because honestly, at the end of the day, that worst case scenario, that if it plays out, again, everything that Penn State wants to play for this season is still going to be there. So while we talk about the pressure, and again, it is real in that locally, the noise is going to be loud if they don't take care of business here Saturday night. Yeah. But also, again, what an opportunity. You have a chance to, in this game Saturday night, go out, have fun, entertain your fans, show how good you are, and solidify your position as one of the true national title contenders here this season. And again, if at the end of the day it is just one of those nights and you do have the 3 or 4 turnovers that nobody's anticipating and it doesn't go your way and it just falls apart, the truth is you can come back next week and put together a run the rest of the season. It still gets you into the playoffs, gets you to the point where you're in the playoffs, where you can make that run and all the things we've talked about. In the moment, it is going to feel like a Herculean task if you lose this game. I think this team, again, is mature enough, talented enough, and we'll be ready to go here Saturday night. I think at the end of the day, that worst case scenario is just that, a hypothetical that we can play out what would have happened, because I think Penn State ultimately does take care of business here in the whiteout game Saturday night. It's just hard, and maybe part of it's I just don't want to envision. I really have a hard time envisioning Penn State not taking care of business, and taking care of business means getting the W, however that W comes about. But leaving the fans satisfied as they walk off the field, and again, just building that confidence moving forward within the program as well. Again, there's too many things in Penn State's favor for me to believe that they're going to allow the quote-unquote pressure of this situation to get to them, and that's what would cost them the opportunity to cash in on this win.
2 or 3 years ago, we had Drew Aller playing at Ohio State, throwing the ball 44 times a game. That was not good, because you're asking a little too much of a younger kid. But now you're a fifth-year senior, and it's time for, this is his time. This is his year, his season that he's been preparing his whole life for. There is the adage that they try to do too much at times and this and that. I just think that he's mature enough, and I think that the coaching are mature enough, and the players are mature enough that, it's a team game. Let's just go out there and do what we do. Everybody do their own freaking job. Don't worry about trying to do everybody else's job and hit a home run every damn play. Just play the game and the way your coaches are calling the game. And I think with our depth, our age, our seniority, our strength, our speed. I mean, I know that they have speed, but I mean, I love it. I mean, are you hearing these matchups like, oh, Penn State can't match up with Oregon speed. They can't do it. They can't do it. I mean, they've been saying this about us for decades and stuff like that, and it never really. We're pretty damn fast. So I think that we have a faster team than most people give us credit for being a Northeast college. So, so we do our guys do their job, play their game. I think we walk away with it pretty easy. In a fun game, fun environment, great environment, and a fun night. That's what That's what these turn into. We want a great game, which we all want to, but also want to win the game. So I like us. I like our chances, and I like our just let our guys do their jobs and get out there and finish, get it done, baby.
I just like Ironhead going in hard on the Bachman-Turner overdrive with taking care of business.
Absolutely right. We will take a break here. When we come back, we'll talk a little bit about I want to talk about what we think we're going to see in terms of the approach offensively early from the Nittany Lions. Do they use the running game to set up the pass? Do they use the pass to set up the running game? Is it just right from the get-go? Hey, we want to get a good mix. I think that's going to be a fascinating watch here on Saturday night, and I think you could make probably a pretty compelling argument for any of the aforementioned game plans. And again, I'm talking about early. Like, what do you do? Obviously, you hope that you'll make adjustments depending on what you see as the game goes along. But coming out early, what do you think Penn State wants to try to establish on that first drive or two offensively against the Ducks on Saturday night? We'll kick that around in just
No one likes making trips to the gas station. Well, Lion Country Kia can help. If you're tired of going to the gas station all the time, Lion Country Kia can help with the 2025 Kia Sportage Hybrid. Save now with 2.9% APR financing for up to 48 months and get $500 Kia Finance bonus cash. There's 14 available that get 38 MPG combined. Say goodbye to all those pump visits. 2025 Kia Sportage Hybrids start at just $32,285. And be sure to check out the full Kia lineup too, and their selection of certified pre-owned Kias. Remember, every new Kia comes with a 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain warranty. Ease that pain at the pump with a 38 MPG combined 2025 Kia Sportage Hybrid from Lion Country Kia, 1334 Drivable Street off Shiloh Road behind Sam's Club, State College. Warranty is a limited powertrain warranty. For details, see dealer or go to kia.com.
If you love wings, if you love rings, and all kinds of other tempting things, great times, great food, get to Quaker Steak Lube.
Get our Best Wings USA, signature sauces, mouth-watering appetizers, or any of our delicious award-winning lube favorites.
Great times, great food, get to Quaker Steak Lube.
I'm the Modelo Recruiter, and I'm looking for fans with good hands and great speed. The ones who stay focused and never miss a play. They go the distance on game day, even when their team is away. I'm always watching, always looking to reward more full-time fans. Because football isn't really football without you.
A lot has changed about State College. One thing that hasn't is W.C. Clark's Coffee Roasters on 234 East Calder Way. 30 different varieties of specialty coffee beans sourced from over 25 countries and roasted with love each morning in Happy Valley for over 45 years. They'll ship their fresh roasted coffee from their doorstep to yours. Order online at statecollegecoffee.com. That's statecollegecoffee.com.
Hi, welcome to Timberland Federal Credit Union, a financial cooperative for its members, tracing all the way back to 1973.
Experience Timberland Federal Credit Union, where you're greeted with a smile and financial solutions are tailored to your unique life journey. Here, we're not just financial professionals, we're your neighbors, people invested in your financial needs, literacy, and empowerment. Your dreams matter to us, whether they're about buying a home, growing a nest egg, or embarking on new adventures. TFCU draws from the past and invests in the future, offering modern tools like online banking to give you the freedom to manage your money practically anytime. Additionally, we're passionate about giving back both time and resources because enhancing our community is at the core of why we're here. Visit TFCU in person or online to learn more about our services and apply for a membership today.
WFXX, once again.
The Fox, your sports radio.
Broadcasting live, loud and proud from Central PA's Sports Authority, WFXS America.
98.7, The Fox, State College, the Goon and Ironhead.
And back here on a Thursday, 2 days prior to the whiteout game. We're at Quaker Steak and Lube. The Deer Booch kind enough to join us today as well. Of course, Quaker Steak and Lube, a wonderful place to be this weekend. There will be a few folks here tomorrow night, is my understanding, in anticipation of the game. Yeah, we have actually got quite the crowd, including at least one Oregon fan in tow here at Quaker Steak and Lube today. Yep, you can come on down, watch the NFL and college action tonight. Check out all of the great sports action tomorrow. Of course, Ryder Cup also underway. You can watch all of your favorite sports here at Quaker Steak and Lube. You can do so while enjoying great food. They've got an unbelievable menu, great selection of varied items. And Goon, my understanding is if you want to order a beverage, perhaps even an adult beverage, they will acquiesce.
Yes, a very cold, in a cool, very, very cold way. Coldest beer in town, I got to say that.
It
I will
is
say it every day of the week.
A beautiful thing and
I-
best service in the area. I'm just telling you.
We drove by Monday, me and my buddy. I'm not driving because of my back right now, so he picked me up, and we had to come out here to get the bag of equipment for our Monday night player show. And then in the parking lots of Walmart and Sam's Club already. That was Monday night at 4:45. And I was like,
awesome.
all right, boys and girls. That's how, back when I played, we always used to sit there and say, when you started seeing the Winnebagos pull up was how big a game it was going to be. I started seeing it on Monday, so this is how big of a game it's going to be.
Yeah, no, the buzz started early, and it's just going to keep building all the way to Saturday. And
Get this rain out of the way.
Well, that's the good thing. We are going to get it out of the way. There might be a passing shower somewhere along the way Saturday, but it is overwhelmingly going to be a very good day, or so the projections are. Booch and I were knocking on wood on that, and I'll continue to do so. But it is looking very promising in terms of the overall weather for both the tailgating and the game here.
There's a game
on Saturday. One of the things I like to do, and I'm not surprisingly, I'm pretty much always wrong. I don't know that I've ever hit on one of these, but going into big games, I like to project, hey, what is going to be the first play?
Oh,
now I want to get into kind of the overall series plan and what we think the plan maybe will be, and then what we think it ought to be. But I also like, all right, is that first play? What's it going to be? I'll give you my thoughts here on the first play. And again, this is offensively. Penn State comes out, first play from the line of scrimmage. If I'm Penn State, my play is a little play action to either Allen, and I would start Allen in the backfield, by the way. I'll more on that later. But I would do a little play action with Allen and just a little 8-yard curl in the middle of the field to Luke Reynolds. That's how I would start my game for the first play. But I'll throw it out to you, either first play, but just kind of first series. What do you think Penn State should, and maybe if you think it'll be different, what will they do in that first series? What are they looking to establish? I know, Goon, you just want
in lieu of saving time, why don't you just take this question?
Goon wants them to throw the ball all over the field. He wants to just let the receivers
just take the offensive line out of it and just throw the ball around. Just put all wide receivers on the field.
Go ahead, Booch. What are you thinking here?
Well, first of all, Ironhead, I like that you mentioned Luke Reynolds already, because for sure I'm going to talk about him as we talk about key matchups. And I think the way maybe the night can go offensively for Penn State. Honestly, for me, though, on my first play call, I believe that the bread and butter of this offense needs to be the run game, and I think it'll be important in this game. What I would actually do, you talk about who's going to get the start, I would have both Nick Singleton and Katron Allen in the backfield. I would probably motion Trevor Pena to get a little hint early on of what Oregon is going to show you defensively. And I would fake a handoff inside to Nick Singleton and then toss it out wide to Katron Allen. Because I think if you can get Katron to the outside and find success with that early, man, that is going to soften up that inner belly of the Oregon defense. And then you really can start working them over in the run game a little bit, and that'll open up that passing downfield for you.
Yep. All right. Well, I mean, I go off of last year's Big Ten playoff game, and we ran the ball at will on these guys. So I think that we just continue with that from the start and just say, hey, boys, this is going to be a long day for you because we're just coming right. We're just going to just start pounding it. And then, obviously, that opens up the pass game and the play-action passes. Obviously, a huge thing. And it would probably maybe have a touchdown or two off of play-action passes this weekend if we get the run game going.
Yeah.
Booch,
well, we've been hearing James talk about the offseason that Katron Allen has had, first healthy offseason in the program. The fat man's looking a little svelte comparatively, and also looking a little faster. Like I get it was against FIU or whatever, but the long scoring run he had, I'm not sure he doesn't get caught from behind by FIU in past years. So that's why I'm thinking, I think he can do some damage on the outside for the offense this year.
I'm in. Sign me up, baby. I mean, that's definitely what I don't want to see is Booch. I know you were just a young buck at the time, but 1997, the big game versus Michigan. Remember the opening play of that game? We decided to razzle dazzle the number 4 team in the country when we were number 2 and try to run a flea flicker reverse. And both their defensive ends did not buy either the flea flick or the reverse. About a 30-yard the fumble in the end zone.
Yeah, that was my freshman year. Yeah, that was my freshman year. Not John Affleck, the guy who was before him at the Penn State Sports Media Center. I'm blanking on his name, but he's a Penn State alum, was writing at the New York Times, and came in and talked to my English class that Friday. And so we asked him, what do you think? What do you think about this game? And he just looked at us and shook his head. And I thought, man, this guy, he works for one of the most prestigious papers in the country. He's a Penn State alum. He would tell us the truth if he thought we had this in the bag. And I so kind of went into that game with a bad feeling. And now you're bringing it all back to me, Goon. Thanks so much. Yeah, that one was right. That Michigan defense, man, with that was Charles Woodson and so many just superstars on that defense. They were
that was their natty.
Yeah,
that was their real
brutal.
National title, not the Cheetahs one.
Correct.
Oh, but that's how you start a game. I remember just sitting there on the sideline, and remember Derek Pickett, one of my old college teammates, is like, "You watch, they're going to try to run this reverse here." Sure as heck. First play of the game, they did it, a 20-yard loss.
Well, and our offensive coordinator sometimes is a little susceptible to the temptation to do that kind of stuff. I really hope we don't see too much of that on Saturday night.
No, I don't think we're going to. I think that he's really going to try to establish this. I mean, I think that if you watch the Big Ten title game last year, is that we were physically dominating them towards the end of that game. When we needed yards, we could run the ball, and I think that that's what we need to do from early and often this week. Again, this is an Oregon team who's actually younger than they were last year. So these guys really don't have any. They have no indication of what we can bring, and we're bringing the same 8-9 guys on offense at them that they were playing against last year. So. Let's not try and reinvent I mean, what is it? Reinvent the wheel? It's just like let's do what we do. And I know we've had problems running the ball this year. I mean, again, we've been waiting for this preseason that we've been talking about. We've really never hit stride, in my opinion. So it's like, hey, man, it's like that time. It's time to put up right now. I mean, this is time. It's either put up or shut up, or we're gonna be going home. And I just have a bad feeling if there is a bad scenario to this game, and that is that, do we lose a lot of fan support if you do lose this type of game? I mean, I know it's the new generation, the new world of you can get in the playoffs with 2 losses, and you will get in the playoff with 2 losses type of thing. But I'm just saying that the fan base it's a fickle fan base right now, and they're just waiting for are they waiting for something bad to happen and say, "Oh, I knew this was going to be the case"? And I hope it's not the case. I hope we do go out and play the game that we want to play and win this game and beat them and have a good showing. But if we don't, does our fan base skedaddle and say, it's the same crap. Another year, same thing all over again. So I don't know. It's sort of scary. We have a lot to lose, Butch. As me and you talked off the air earlier this week, that we have a lot to lose versus what they have to lose.
Yeah,
they're on the road. They're a young team. They're to come in here and do
they're kind of playing with house money, at least compared to Penn State. I don't want to delve too much into the kind of loser mentality of what you have in front of you. If you lose the game, you could worry about that when it comes up. But for real, what happened last weekend with Illinois at Indiana helped both of these teams because we both have home games against the Hoosiers. Yeah. And so even if Indiana loses to Oregon, that's still a quality opponent for Penn State, and they're definitely a quality opponent for Oregon. So one of these teams is going to come out of this game a loser, right? Well, they can both look at that and say, Indiana laying the lumber to a top 10 Illinois team, even if everybody agrees Illinois was probably a little bit overranked, just the way they beat them. Now, of course, you got to beat Indiana, but you're going to get credit for that, maybe in a way that you never would have in the past, beating Indiana in football.
Yeah, I don't think there's any question about that. And you know, I am going to be fascinated to just continue to watch Indiana, because it does feel like they have a real chance here to make a run at being a playoff team for a second straight year.
Yeah, no question. That quarterback's great. Fernando Mendoza.
And at what point do you start to say, hey, it is the system at Indiana? Because again, I know he rubs a lot of folks the wrong way, but man, you cannot argue with the success that Cignetti has had, and it is immediate. And you know, again, we'll see how it plays out, but it sure feels like this is sustained. It is going to be sustained success at a program that. Again, other than, you know, maybe Rutgers, you know, even Northwestern, because of what happened there earlier, you're like, the two programs that you just knew you couldn't create sustained success at is Rutgers and Indiana. And now Cignetti may be turning that on its head. And with the money now that they have flowing from Bloomington, again, I think they might not be throwing the money that the Georgias and the Ohio States of the world are, or Texas, Oregon. But I'll tell you what, they're in that next tier, and they're going to be giving Penn State a run for its money. It's looking like in that regard. So that'll be worth watching the rest of the year as well. And yeah, the advantage really to me is the winner of this game now has a lot of leeway going into the rest of the season. In that, to your point, Goon, do I think Penn State, with two losses, regardless of where those losses are, gets in? I do. Again, you got to see how everything else plays out. Sure. But it's hard for me to envision a program that has the reputation of Penn State's with two losses not being one of the 12 teams in. Maybe another discussion for another day. But if you win this game and you buy into that, right, well, now you can lose the game at Ohio State, and even if you get tripped up by Indiana at home or by Nebraska, again, you have now some margin for error where because you have this quality win under your belt, regardless of whether it's the white out or whatever, you have that quality win under your belt. It is almost impossible to see the scenario where Penn State wouldn't make the playoffs then. Whereas you lose this game, again, the noise gets very loud locally, so you're having to deal with that. But now it feels extremely unlikely that you would win the game at Ohio State then. And now, again, it is ramped up because you don't have any margin for error. While I think Penn State is in with two losses, I also think there is zero doubt that they are out, as they should be. And again, so you have really no margin for error if you take the Ohio State game for what is projected to be a road loss.
Yeah, what gets me though is what would be the signature win? Indiana?
If Penn State loses to Oregon and at Ohio State,
you have Indiana.
Yeah, Indiana
Nebraska,
right now would look like the marquee victory again as we sit here right now.
A lot that has to go into it, a lot that will go into it. I mean, hell, we were watching the game last year, and Ohio State loses to Michigan on the last day of the season. So but I'm just saying,
crazy stuff can happen.
What I'm saying, I think the fan support that we have right now, I think will just it will be like, I'm sick of it. I'm not falling for it again.
Oh yeah,
you understand what I mean?
That will be there, but in turn, the fans will be in the stadium.
Always come.
They'll just be ready to boo at the drop of a hat. That's all.
Yeah, it's really more about the energy around the program. And I mean, it is not, it's not just vibes. I mean, certainly in college football now, you've just got to have this like never ending money train going. And so if the boosters, the folks with the checkbooks that can swing recruiting battles, help you pull guys in the transfer portal, et cetera, if they're not enthusiastic about the way things are going, they're going to be a lot stingier. So that's a way that it really has a tangible effect on outcomes for the program. Just one thing, talking about, resumes and who is on the slate for both teams coming up. It's interesting. Penn State doesn't play USC this season, but Oregon does.
Yep.
And USC seems to be coming on strong. A game I am really interested to see, at least highlights from this weekend, guys. I won't get to see it because, like Goon, I'm either going to be in the stadium or in the parking lot. Is Indiana at Iowa. So Indiana has this big emotional road win. And now they've got to go to Kinnick Stadium. And Iowa doesn't have a whole lot of offense, but what they always have is that defense that is just going to suffocate the life out of you. They've got a great home field advantage. And if they can beat Indiana, then Goon, maybe you all of a sudden start looking at Iowa as a team that would be a little bit more of a pelt for Penn State.
That's your marquee win of who wins the Iowa Indiana game this weekend. That's your marquee win. Unless
I don't think the Hawkeyes have enough
bit.
offense to get it done, but I am just curious to see how Iowa's offense looks versus Indiana. Or excuse me, how Iowa's defense looks versus Indiana. If they can stifle that Indiana offense, then maybe I'm a little bit less of a buyer on Indiana. But, man, if they can go out there and they can score like 30 points at Kinnick Stadium, that's for real.
We're talking about Indiana here. What in the hell world are we living in, boys?
I know, man.
Think about this. I mean, is a Netty thing or is this a money thing? What do you think turned them around?
I mean, the money hasn't. I think it's much more a Signetti thing. I mean, the money obviously is part of the equation, but really that investment hasn't. Like, if you're looking at that roster in terms of 4-star or 5-star talent and comparing it to Ohio State or Penn State or even Michigan, Oregon, I mean, it's not comparable right now. Now, they have another, like if they get to the playoffs again, the combination of Signetti and the money that is being invested, I think they will be one of the bigger players. And I think, again, that the chance for sustained success, meaning they'll be in the playoffs more often than not, especially with the likelihood that the playoffs will expand here at some point in the pretty near future. Yeah, I think that's really strong. To me, it's much more about Signetti. I think a big part of why the money is there is Signetti. Why people are like, let's go ahead and pour into this.
I'm going to play dumb here a little bit. I mean, has there been a significant donor for Indiana, or is it just a concerted effort from the university and their fans? Because I know that they have John Cougar Mellencamp was one of their huge donors, and he, the big arena, their indoor facilities and all that stuff he's paid for. But is that where their money's coming from, Booch? Is there a certain guy? Like Texas Tech has that former player who is a multi-billionaire now, who was the NFL guy who created those oil companies and stuff like that. So is there a certain guy at Indiana?
So first and foremost, you're going full. You going full John Cougar Mellencamp?
I want John Cougar Mellencamp. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. You could have gone John Mellencamp. Could have go John Cougar. You go. The full Monty. I love it.
I could have gone John Cougar.
Yeah, I don't think
covered them all, Bubba.
Right now,
Jack
I don't
Diana
think
in
Indiana
there too,
has like a T. Boone Pickens or a Terry Pagula or a Phil Knight. I do know there's a lot of money. Man, there's a lot of money in their alumni base, and probably in previous years, a lot of it was flowing into basketball, right? Because that's just been the priority there. My understanding is they have been working that donor base pretty hard to get more money flowing towards football. But the other thing is, just institutionally, they committed $11 million annually to coaching salary pool that puts them in the Big Ten, all 18 teams, that puts them behind only Ohio State. So they're ahead of Michigan. They're ahead of Penn State. They're ahead of Oregon, USC. All of these schools.
And we have two guys making $7 million between the two of them, correct?
What's it? Sorry?
Do we not have two guys on our staff now who are making close to $7 million between the two of them? In Signetti and Knowles? Not Signetti, but
Kotelnicki. I think Kotelnicki's more in the like 1.5 million.
Okay. And then
and I mean we're not far behind.
Knowles is about 3.5.
Yeah. But the point is that Indiana's just spending a lot of money and spend a lot of their own money, and they've got a lot of alumni who are chipping in.
Guy in there because Signetti, he's sort of a tool, dude. Did you see what he backhanded compliment? Not a compliment. He just backhanded slapped the Illinois. He was talking about this week's game, and he's a lot bigger game than last week. It's what he said. Yeah, and it was like, holy crap, man!
Did you see him on set with Nick Saban last year?
With whose?
When
Signetti was like, "Hey, Google me," right?
No, so he was on Nick Saban's staff. Okay, like his kind of his lineage is he was part of the Nick Saban coaching tree. So he's on College Game Day last year with Saban on set. And Saban asked him live on the show, he says, Nick, I got to ask you, where'd you learn to be doing all this smack talking? Because you sure didn't learn it from me.
Well, and listen, again, if you could back it up, hats off to you. And that is not an easy thing to do as consistently as he has done it. All right, we're going to take a break here. We will continue to talk whiteout Saturday, Penn State and Oregon, as we resume with the Lion Country Kia Goon and Ironhead show here from Quaker Steak Lube.
No one likes making trips to the gas station. Well, Lion Country Kia can help. If you're tired of going to the gas station all the time, Lion Country Kia can help with the 2025 Kia Sportage Hybrid. Save now with 2.9% APR financing for up to 48 months. And get $500 Kia Finance bonus cash. There's 14 available that get 38 MPG combined. Say goodbye to all those pump visits. 2025 Kia Sportage Hybrids start at just $32,285. And be sure to check out the full Kia lineup too. And their selection of certified pre-owned Kias. Remember, every new Kia comes with a 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain warranty. Ease that pain at the pump with a 38 MPG combined 2025 Kia Sportage Hybrid from Lion Country Kia, 1334 Drivable Street off Shiloh Road behind Sam's Club, State College. Warranty is a limited powertrain warranty. For details, see dealer or go to kia.com.
If you love wings, if you love rings, and all kinds of other tempting things. Great times, great food, get to Quaker Steak Lube.
Get our Best Wings USA, signature sauces, mouth-watering appetizers, or any of our delicious award-winning lube favorites.
Great times, great food, get to Quaker Steak Lube.
I'm the Modelo Recruiter, and I'm looking for fans with good hands and great speed. The ones who stay focused and never miss a play. They go the distance on game day, even when their team is away. I'm always watching, always looking to reward more full-time fans. Because football isn't really football without you.
A lot has changed about State College. One thing that hasn't is W.C. Clark's Coffee Roasters on 234 East Calder Way. 30 different varieties of specialty coffee beans sourced from over 25 countries and roasted with love each morning in Happy Valley for over 45 years. They'll ship their fresh roasted coffee from their doorstep to yours. Order online at statecollegecoffee.com. That's statecollegecoffee.com.
Hi, welcome to Timberland Federal Credit Union, a financial cooperative for its members, tracing all the way back to 1973.
Experience Timberland Federal Credit Union, where you're greeted with a smile and financial solutions are tailored to your unique life journey. Here, we're not just financial professionals, we're your neighbors. People invested in your financial needs, literacy, and empowerment. Your dreams matter to us, whether they're about buying a home, growing a nest egg, or embarking on new adventures. TFCU draws from the past and invests in the future, offering modern tools like online banking to give you the freedom to manage your money practically anytime. Additionally, we're passionate about giving back both time and resources because enhancing our community is at the core of why we're here. Visit TFCU in person or online to learn more about our services and apply for a membership today.
WFXS, once again,
The Fox.
your sports radio.
Broadcasting live, loud and proud from Central PA's Sports Authority, WFXS America.
98.7 The Fox. State College. The Goon and Ironhead.
It'll be Penn State, Oregon, 7:30 on Saturday night. NBC with the coverage. Of course, ESPN Game Day will be here to get everybody revved up in the morning. One of the fun things that has been kicked around is who the guest picker will be for ESPN Game Day. I'll ask each of you your guess as to who it will be and who you would like to see.
I don't know. I mean, I'll think about it. Go ahead.
Okay, so I've been giving a lot of thought to this. Ironhead, certainly you'll appreciate that. I think Cale Sanderson needs to be close to the top of the list. He'd be a great option.
Yes.
I think I don't want to butcher his last name. Pommel Horse guy would be great if he's available.
Steven Nedorosik. Yep.
Yes, Nedorosik. Right. Thank you. My choice, though, if I had to pick somebody right now in the moment, I know she's in the middle of her season, but I would go with Katie Schumacher-Cauley. Just the defending national champion, just gave a great speech and accepted that award at the ESPYs. So I know ESPN loves to do like cross promotion with its own internal product. Yep. So you could see how they could use that as a way to promote it. And just her story of, number one, being part of Russ Rose's first national champion while she was a student at Penn State. By the way, a contemporary of mine, I would kind of enjoy the fact that she would probably be the only guest picker in game day history who I got to say I drank with when I was in college, right? So I love that. And then succeeding Russ, winning a national championship at her alma mater, and in the way she did it, too many great storylines to me. I think that's the slam dunk.
I want Cale, obviously, is my one, but I don't understand how Spice has never been on there. I know he has affiliations with Fox, and the Big Ten Network and stuff like that. But Spice is, he is out there, man. He's very far out there. But Cale, perfect. I mean, he honestly deserves it. But I don't know. I mean, Jeff would have obviously better opinion, but does he even want to do it? It's not really his shtick.
But my guess is he would politely decline if asked. I mean, I don't know that,
That's
but
so
that would be
it's
my
awesome,
guess.
No. But that's what makes him absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
Bo Nickel would be great, too.
Yes, but I think Bo Nickel would be. So I had my top 10 list for this on our Monday morning show with Let's Talk, which you can listen for weekdays from 8 to 10 a.m. on Sports Radio 98.7 The Fox. And Steven Nedorosik was I had number one, and Bo Nickel I had number two. I do think Katie Schumacher-Cauley would make a ton of sense and would be a great pick. Obviously, she is a wonderful personality coming off the national title, and as you said, at the ESPN. Very familiar with her now, and I think will not be at all surprised if she is the way they go. I'll throw in the one that I realize is not going to happen, but that I would just love to see, and again, I would put it at the point, I guess I'll never say never, but it's not happening. But I would love to see Sue Paterno be out there as the guest picker. I think it would be a blast, and I think it would get that crowd going absolutely bonkers. You would hear the Supot chants. It would be an absolute blast. A couple of other names I'll just throw out there and into the hopper. If you want to get the crowd revved up, and again, I realize student athletes currently here generally do not get this type of marquee. In fact, I don't know. I'll have to go back. I can't think of anybody on game day, and not that I see all of them, but I don't remember as a current student athlete being the guest picker. But you want to get that crowd to erupt, bring on Gavin McKenna.
That's a great one. I did think about him too.
I think Guy Godowski obviously would be a great pick as well, and he would be an absolute blast and would have a great time doing it. So I think, if you want to go the hockey route here in Hockey Valley, either of those would be pretty cool options as well.
I don't want to, what's it, Michael Key?
Yeah, he's done it a couple times. Yeah,
but there's Ty Burrell. But he is from Oregon and Penn State. And obviously he's Phil Dunphy in Modern Family, and I love him. His character. But it's a Penn State crowd, and then he's an Oregon guy who finished his schooling at Penn State. What I mean? He got an associate's degree. So it wasn't like he was, an 18-year-old freshman living here.
Right.
And nor was Kiki Peel either, though, right? They were just grad students. And I'd love to know when he was here, because I used to take all those acting 101 class that all the athletes used to take here. Theater 101.
Yeah.
I wonder if he was in there then. I don't think about that. Like, I wonder if he was here. But I wish
I could have been in acting 101 with Keith Conlin. Oh God.
Theater 101. Look at me. So I got Gail, Katie, or Spice would be my three. And I think that Katie, I think that it would. I don't know. I hope and I pray that it is her because of what she's gone through. But again, how you said it, Booch, about the ESPN cross promoting a lot of their stuff. Her winning the SB, that type of thing, and they could bring that up and they could talk about that and just talk about her journey. And oh man, she looks great. By the way, I watched those matches the last couple of weeks. Man, she's recovering pretty well there.
Yeah,
awesome. Good human being, man, and a good human story. A humanoid story, I guess you'd call it.
Back to the game itself. So I do think a lot is rightfully being made of the importance of getting off to a good start for both of these teams. Oregon, I think, to just kind of get a good feeling about itself, maybe try to quiet the crowd and all of that.
Sure.
I was listening, Joe Lednowski, who is normally on noon to 2 on our airwaves here, had a guest on from Oregon, and the person's name escapes me now, but they were talking, he was talking about if you're drawing up the dream scenario for Oregon, it is if they win the toss, he thinks they take the ball, which I think is interesting because and his reasoning is if obviously you're looking at it positively, man, if they can come out and come right down the field, get a big play or two and get that early lead. Now, again, you plant the seed of doubt in the favorites, you get the home crowd on edge. Obviously, the other scenario the Penn State fans would have play out there is, okay, well now, you receive the ball, you end up, you're going to be, if you choose that, then Penn State is choosing to put you would think, to start the game in the south end zone, defending the south end zone. And if Penn State can come up with a big play or even just a 3 and out, now all of a sudden you're in a hole. Plus, James Franklin, most coaches emphasize it, but I think James Franklin, as much or more than anybody out there, emphasizes that the last 4 of the first half and the second 4 of the second half. Well, if you win that opening kickoff, meaning, all right, Oregon takes it and doesn't do anything with it, and you're able to get points at the end of the half, and you're able to get the snowball effect there, I would think, as tempting as it would be, And again, the Oregon guy seemed pretty sure. He was like, yeah, if they win the toss, Oregon's going to receive it.
No way.
I think it would be tempting. I really do. I also think that they have to put their defense out there, because I also think they've got to be looking at it and saying, as problematic as stopping Penn State's run game was for them last year, Oregon's looking at the tape from the first 3 games and saying, listen, we can match up well there. Let's, again, try to play the field position battle out of the gate. We can get the 3 and out, and we'll get the ball in better position than if we took the opening kickoff.
They win, except we put them in the south end zone with the students. It'll be Michigan that when they had to call that timeout, the opening play of the game, which I still say is probably one of the coolest things that ever happened in a whiteout.
I will tell you this
play of the game.
It was great. It was one of the moments that made the whiteout. I will tell you this: if they are as confident in their locker room as their fans appear to be, and the nation appears to be, that they are going to come in here and lay the lumber to us, I'm in disagreement. I'm a dance with the girl what brung you, and with Oregon. I know Dan Lanning's an SEC defensive coordinator, national championship defensive coordinator from Georgia. You go to Oregon, the identity of that program is uniforms and multiple offense. It's scoring points. And let me ask you this, guys. I've been tossing this around with some folks this week. Obviously, you would prefer to get a stop on Oregon's first offensive possession. But if you don't, if they end it in the end zone, what do you think is worse for Penn State? They give up an explosive play that goes for long yardage and a score, or they give up a methodical drive? Because I have a definitive answer in my head.
Yeah, so I think so this is interesting too. So I think without question, although again in the moment it'll be disheartening for sure, I think you much rather give up the big play. For one thing,
I agree.
And Joe Paterno used to talk about this with opening kickoffs. It wasn't that he didn't want his team to return the opening kickoff for a touchdown. Obviously, you'll take the points any way you can get them, and as quickly as you can get them. But in one of the press conferences after a game where that happened, he did say something to the effect of, it always makes me nervous when you get the opening kickoff return for a touchdown, because there is just this, no matter what you say, do, think as a coach and what you're preaching, there's just that instinctive moment on the side where like, it's all right, it's our day. And that you just kind of inevitably relax a little bit. And I think it's kind of the same thing if you have that big, like if Oregon comes out and the first play from scrimmage is 80 yards, touchdown pass, I think to some degree, the 94 Rose Bowl.
I told you that it was the worst thing that could have happened to us.
You just, there is that, man, all right, that was so easy. It's going to be like that the rest of the day.
Is what we're going to win by.
Yeah, whereas.
And then they buckled down. Whereas we're sitting there like, oh, this is going to be easy. And they're like, all right, they buckle down and they get ready to go. And they come out and they smash you.
And I think also from the crowd's perspective, it's like, all right, well, you got us on that one play. Now we're back at it. I think it's much easier to get into it. Whereas if you – the thing about the methodical drive is, and that 98-yard drive, not to get too far stray here, that 98-yard drive that the Lions had against the Ravens was one of the most impressive things we've seen in the early stages of the NFL season through 3 weeks, because against an organization that prides itself on tough defense, to go 18 plays, 98 yards, and chew up 11 minutes off the clock. If you get anything close to that, an 80-yard drive that chews up 7 minutes off the clock for Oregon, the thing about it is, all right, every time there is, if it's early in the game, right, the crowd, every play on that drive, it's like, all right, here we go. Now we're going to get a defensive play. Oh, no, not there. All right, here we go. Now we're going to get a defensive play. Oh, no. Now, well, it it does. It takes a toll on the defense psychologically as well as physically. But I also think it takes a toll on the crowd. It's like, man, we were there for you, 12 plays, defense, and you never came up with the big play that stopped the drive. Again, there might be plays in there, but to me, that is disheartening in a completely different way. And I think it's harder to tell yourself defensively, like if you're on the field, hey, we're going to make the adjustments. I think it's harder to tell yourself as a fan, yep, it's going to pay off if we hang in there and keep making the noise. So, yeah, to me, no question that if it is a long, methodical drive, and I think it's the same thing the other way. If you're Penn State, again, you're going to – both these teams will take the points, they'll take the quick hitters for sure. But I think if you're Penn State, you would much rather see like a 10-play, 11-play, methodical drive, maybe hit a couple of big plays in there, but kind of same thing. All right, yep, much like you saw us as that game progressed last year in the Big Ten championship game, we were kind of able to take over. Well, we're coming out right at the start this year and taking over at the line of scrimmage. And then, again, I think it's much more difficult for the opposing team. First of all, you get the crowd big time into it. But also now I think it's much harder to convince yourself defensively, all right, we're going to be fine. One play, I don't think you have any problem getting over that. And, hey, all right, we won't let that guy behind us again all night or whatever the case is.
Let's try not to do that.
Yeah.
No, I'm with you, though. I mean, it's a big thing. Again, I talk about the Rose Bowl. I mean, you watch any game, all the gamblers out there, opening play, opening kick, guy return it, guys a big play or whatever, and it's just like that team thinks that they're going to sit back on their laurels a little bit, and the other team's going to press. So it's one of those in-game bets I've always talked about. Like, hey, you may want to grab one of those in that situation because this other team's going to come out and they're going to buckle down where the team who's just scored very easily is going to relax, and it's just human nature.
Yeah.
But our human nature right now is it better be our freaking human nature, and that is we ran the ball on these guys last year. They're not as good a defensively team as they were last year. We are very much the same offense. Let's go do what we have to do with these guys. Let's go pound down their throats.
How about this, boys? This is from Josh Pate on Twitter. He said he reports per FanDuel Sportsbook. Oregon plus 3.5 and Georgia minus 2.5 are their two most bet on sides in the past 24 hours. The public is not a believer in the Nittany Lions.
Why would they be? What have we shown?
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, so I'll push back a little bit on that. In that, I mean, yes. Are you saying this year or are you saying in the big games?
In the big games.
Okay. On the big game front, here is my one caveat there.
Big word.
Is that Penn State, again, to me, consistently under James Franklin, and I would argue remarkably so, considering the state of the program when he came in, it has been certainly a top 8 program. We can quibble within where, I mean, clearly not a top 4 program, probably not a top 5 program, but somewhere 6 to 10, certainly under the James Franklin era, you would have Penn State as one of the somewhere 6th through 10th that they definitively would be. And I think pretty much 7 or 8 is where you would peg them at in terms of overall. And I've talked a lot about this. I think in terms of the investment in the program prior to the last couple of years, Penn State was actually getting more out of the coaching staff and the program than what it was. They were getting good return on the investment. In most of those games, I get why you're measuring against the top 5 teams. That's where Penn State wants to be. I would argue most of those games, Ohio State pretty consistently has had the more talented roster, arguably every year, but there's been a couple of years there where I think Penn State had at least pretty comparable talent, but not many. Ohio State has had a better roster. I think the Michigan teams that beat Penn State, Penn State was underdogs in most of these games against top 5 teams. They were the lower ranked team. They were the team. Now, again, it might not have been a great difference, and I can argue they should have won some of them. And for sure, when you get the double-digit leads and all of that in the fourth quarter, I get it. I'm with you. But I'm just saying, if objectively you're looking at it going in, it's like, well, Penn State was the underdog. Well, why were they the underdog? Well, they didn't have as good of a roster, as good of a team. They didn't have the depth that this year's team has. They didn't have the expectation, the amount of senior leadership returning that this year's team does. They didn't have a 3-year starter at quarterback returning the way this year's team does. So all of those things, to me, factor in. And again, I don't have the statistics in front of me exactly of home, away, and all of that. That 4-20 record against top 5 teams, not many of those games has Penn State had the whiteout at home where they are the favorite. And most people, looking at it, say, yeah, they have the more talented roster. That has not been the case in most of those games. So, I understand the sentiment out there and time to go, shut folks up and all of that. But also, most of those games, I mean, you weren't really shocked at the end of the day. And not that you'd be shocked if Penn State lost this one, but this one does feel to me different than a lot of those previous top 5 opponent matchups, because Penn State is home, I think, does have the better roster.
I do think so.
The more experienced roster at key spots, all of that.
I don't think we've ever had a better roster than Ohio State. What do you think?
In the James Franklin era, I think that's probably true.
I mean, Michigan a couple times we were better than, but then when we were, when they were whipping our butt a couple of years ago, they were much better than us on paper. But I go back to Oregon, Penn State, and Texas. We're all in the same freaking boat. We're all in the top 7 or 8, like you just said, but neither of us have won a title. So we're all feel a little bit of pressure here, I think. But we are definitely the more talented of these teams. But in future, would this Oregon team, who's very young, be better than our guys right now? Maybe in 2 years, maybe next year, maybe I don't know. But right now, we are historically in these big top 5 matchups. I don't think we've ever physically we're the better team on paper. Do you? I mean, I completely agree with what you're saying.
Yeah, I don't think
we are on paper. We are on paper better than this team. Now, future-wise, I think they may catch up and be better than us, but they're so young. We are so veteran. That is where we need to impose our will on them, because we are the older team. We are the veteran team, and they're the young guys who should be looking around a gaze at, oh, my God, this is a whiteout. This is amazing, because these guys have grown up their whole lives watching these whiteouts, and it's pretty awesome how they talk about it, by the way, as recruits. Yep. Every one of them talk about it. All of them. It's so freaking cool. Just want to – let's go, man. Let's go. Let's go, Ironhead.
What are you thinking, Booch, in terms of the top 5? Are you buying that I think this is a little different than most of the previous matchups where Penn State has come up short? I'm sure that's what the folks that are on the line here on the Oregon side are looking at. But again, to me, this feels like it should be different anyway going into it Saturday night.
Yeah, well, I mean, I should probably not surprise you guys. I'm a complete doubting Thomas on Penn State in this game.
No.
I can't even imagine. I cannot imagine this team delivering in this type of high leverage situation. I think if they get this win on Saturday night, it opens up new possibilities in the imaginations of our fan base and, frankly, the national conversation around the team in a way that can be extraordinarily beneficial. And if they lose, it's going to set in cement a toxic narrative around the team and the coach and the quarterback that is going to be almost impossible to escape from. I do think, Ironhead, all of that said, and I'm just being real. I'm just being real about where I am, and I'm not arguing that it's rational, because it's probably not. It's probably emotional. Because when you talk about the hard facts of roster depth and quality, you're correct. The only place I would quibble just a little bit, and this is a very subjective thing, I'm going to go to my grave believing that we had a better team top to bottom than Ohio State in 2023 when we went out there and Kyle McCord was their quarterback. I think Penn State was a little bit better. They just had the best player on the field in Marvin Harrison, and that was enough to eke out the win for them. But that's again, neither here nor there. It's always been close.
Allen throw the ball 42 times that day.
Yes, absolutely. We went away from the run when it was working, which I'll never understand. But it was close and arguable either way. And that's the only game I could point to where I would make the argument that maybe Penn State was a skosh better in these, so-called big game matchups. And in this case, there's no question Penn State has the better roster. You have to believe that, because even though Oregon has recruited a lot of talent and speed, so have we. Like you said, Goon, we're not rolling out there with a bunch of slow pokes. In fact, I think
yes, we are. Miami, Penn State,
we wear black shoes, right? You can't believe how slow we are. I really believe, man, going way back, this is the fastest defense Penn State has had that I can remember.
Yeah, I'll tell you, between at all three levels, I think you're probably right about that, Booch, because the speed they have on the defensive line is bordering on absurd. Obviously, you have to have speed in the secondary, and they have it, and depth in both of those spots. I think the depth maybe isn't quite what you would love, in the ideal world to have with the linebacking core. But I will say what they have there with the starters is very impressive from a speed standpoint. One of the many intriguing things, I think, in terms of the matchup here on Saturday night to watch for is what does Penn State, really, what do both teams try to do to match up with the opposition's tight ends? And both Oregon and Penn State have great starters and also great depth at tight end. I mean, again, this is going to be, if you're a fan of the tight end position, this is a game you're going to want to zero in on, because you probably have 4 or 5 of the top, 25, 30 tight ends in the country. I'm making those numbers up, but you have a lot of really good tight ends that'll be on the field here. And tight ends are just a good pass catcher, always a tough matchup for opposing defenses, no matter how good those defenses are and no matter where they're skilled at. It feels like maybe a Tony Rojas could match up pretty well, though, here on Saturday night. And I'm not saying you go one-on-one just all game long. Obviously, with the tight end, that's generally not the way that thing is played. But I am really curious, again, on both sides, how these defenses try to, if not take away the tight ends, at least limit the impact that these guys can have. Because we saw in last year's game, Penn State got the running game going, but also, I mean, both these teams just had some really good tight end play.
Obviously, we did with Warren last year. You know where I'm going to go with this, and that's the play action pass, Jeffrey. That opened up the tight end right down the middle of the game, right down the middle of the field, right there. You got to have that strong run game, and that tight end game opens up big time.
Yeah,
we're talking about the first play of the game. What about putting our running backs at it's split back and then have them both just release to the outside and throw a tight end screen right down the middle of the field? Open up, run the whole linebackers out, run them wild, and hit the tight ends. And I mean, heck, we have one of the deepest tight end rooms in the country. Let's use it.
Yeah. I get it. There's so many little games within the game, and that's always part of the fun of analyzing these matchups ahead of time and then obviously seeing how it actually plays out and what these teams do and how they go about it. All right, we're going to take a break here, and then we're back with a final segment here on our Thursday show ahead of the whiteout game on Saturday night. You are listening to the Lion Country Kia Goon and Ironhead show here from Quaker Steak Lube.
No one likes making trips to the gas station. Well, Lion Country Kia can help. If you're tired of going to the gas station all the time, Lion Country Kia can help with the 2025 Kia Sportage Hybrid. Save now with 2.9% APR financing for up to 48 months. And get $500 Kia Finance bonus cash. There's 14 available that get 38 MPG combined. Say goodbye to all those pump visits. 2025 Kia Sportage Hybrids start at just $32,285. And be sure to check out the full Kia lineup too. And their selection of certified pre-owned Kias. Remember, every new Kia comes with a 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain warranty. Ease that pain at the pump with a 38 MPG combined 2025 Kia Sportage Hybrid from Lion Country Kia, 1334 Drivable Street off Shiloh Road behind Sam's Club, State College. Warranty is a limited powertrain warranty. For details, see dealer or go to kia.com.
If you love wings, if you love rings, and all kinds of other tempting things, great times, great food, get to Quaker Steak Lube.
Get our Best Wings USA, signature sauces, mouth-watering appetizers, or any of our delicious award-winning lube favorites.
Great times, great food, get to Quaker Steak Lube.
I'm the Modelo Recruiter, and I'm looking for fans with good hands and great speed. The ones who stay focused and never miss a play. They go the distance on game day, even when their team is away. I'm always watching, always looking to reward more full-time fans. Because football isn't really football without you.
A lot has changed about State College. One thing that hasn't is W.C. Clark's Coffee Roasters on 234 East Calder Way. 30 different varieties of specialty coffee beans sourced from over 25 countries and roasted with love each morning in Happy Valley for over 45 years. They'll ship their fresh roasted coffee from their doorstep to yours. Order online at statecollegecoffee.com. That's statecollegecoffee.com.
Hi, welcome to Timberland Federal Credit Union, a financial cooperative for its members, tracing all the way back to 1973.
Experience Timberland Federal Credit Union, where you're greeted with a smile and financial solutions are tailored to your unique life journey. Here, we're not just financial professionals, we're your neighbors, people invested in your financial needs, literacy, and empowerment. Your dreams matter to us, whether they're about buying a home, growing a nest egg, or embarking on new adventures. TFCU draws from the past and invests in the future, offering modern tools like online banking to give you the freedom to manage your money practically anytime. Additionally, we're passionate about giving back both time and resources because enhancing our community is at the core of why we're here. Visit TFCU in person or online to learn more about our services and apply for a membership today.
WFXS, once again, the Fox, your sports radio.
Broadcasting live, loud and proud from Central PA's Sports Authority, WFXS America.
98.7, the Fox, State College, the Goon and Ironhead.
And back here, we are promising to bring the whiteout energy for the final segment of today's show, ladies and gentlemen.
You are right.
Yeah, the whiteout energy is definitely picking up throughout town and here at Quaker Steak and Lube. Again, a great place to come on down and watch your football action starting tonight and running right through Monday night. And if you are coming down for the game and you don't have tickets, you could do a lot worse than coming out here to Quaker Steak and Lube and taking in the game on Saturday night. Great place to come down for pregame festivities tonight, tomorrow, and throughout the day Saturday. Maybe come down and grab a little bite to eat before you head up for the tailgating experience.
So we got Heckle and Jekyll over here to our right talking throughout the whole show here, so it's actually pretty funny. But they were talking about College Game Day. We just talked off on air.
Yeah.
So that Pat McAfee is no longer. They're not doing the headgear game with Coach no more. So they got McAfee doing weird, crazy stuff. So they said, "Well, what do you think McAfee could do?" And I like my scenario.
Yeah, what's your scenario?
He's got to wrestle Cale Sanderson.
Oh boy,
and just get pummeled.
I love that.
Hilarious.
Yeah,
would that
brilliant.
not be great? And then they also said maybe McAfee got to do a pommel horse maybe. If it's the
yeah, Steven Nedorosik is the guest pick.
I can see McAfee put the
there
tights on and
horse.
doing a pommel horse. I could see him doing that, but I would rather see him put the singlet on and go out and get wrestle. I mean, we'll start him easy. Let him wrestle Bo. You know, we don't put the number one all time like wrestler in the history of this world against this guy. Well, we'll start him off slow with Bo Nickel maybe. We'll start him off slow. You know what I mean?
Well, it'll be interesting to see what happens.
Bush, what do you got? What do you think? What's something he could do? And I guess
I mean, dude, you just blew my mind with him versus Kale. Like that's all I can think about now. Like I can't even come up with an alternative. It's got to happen.
Got to get the singlet on.
I said I could get McAfee there. Ironhead's got to get Kale on board. I think we can do this. We can make this happen.
I think you just tell him like, look, Kale, it's either this or you're the guest picker.
Yeah. You can come on and beat up Pat McAfee, or you got to come in and talk on the radio. Talk on. You got to be the guest picker, or you got to beat up Pat McAfee. What do you think? Kale's a choice.
You get to beat up Pat McAfee. How can you turn it down?
He'll beat up Pat McAfee. I think let's go with that route. Wow, that'd be great. So now you want to hear the story here. You want to hear the story of the walker here.
Yeah, we got to have the story of the walker.
Lord, God help. My little baby girl, she's sick, little puppy girl. We had to take her down to Pittsburgh for some spine surgery, and then when they had her under, they did some more work to her throat and her nasal passages and stuff like that. So she's really hurting. So carries on. We stayed down there whatever night it was, 2 nights ago. So I'm on my walker with my back and my knee killing me. So I walk out to the car. It's a good while away. Good walk from the hotel. So I get out to the car. I'm like, God, my knee is killing me. And she's on the phone with the doctor. She's got tears in her eyes. She opens my door, just cracks the door, and I get in the door. I leave the walker out besides the car. Figured she'd grab it on the way around to, to get into her side of the car. Got out of the car last night, 2 nights ago, to come home, and I'm like, "Where's my walker?" And she goes, "Oh my God!" And she goes, "It's not in the car." So we left the walker in a hotel parking lot of Pittsburgh. So I have literally been gimping around like ridiculous, like almost nearly falling the last day and a half because I don't have a walker. So my buddies just showed up with my new walker.
That's a beautiful thing.
And that's the worst part is it's the second walker I've been through in the last 2 months.
And the weekend is saved. Do we want to know what happened to the other one, the first one?
Well, I did the exact same thing last time,
boy.
but she cut the car when she were pulling out of a parking spot, and she ran the first one.
Oh.
So needless to say, not really good. The walkers aren't handling. I mean, they're already stressed. They're already stressed to the gills, putting my fat booty on and holding me up. So, and then I'm just leaving them out there. My wife's running them over with a Sorrento.
All right. So here,
God.
I'm saying we're getting rid of the bad mojo ahead of time with your walker. We're getting rid of the bad weather here with Mother Nature. We got rid of the bad football, bad offense through the first 3 games. Everything is going to come together here beautifully. Goon is going to have no problems getting around at his tailgate on Saturday. We're going to have a beautiful day. And this Penn State offense, I do want to go back to the comments. We had somebody commenting, this team through 3 games reminds me of the 2016 team. I am hoping that this game will be the 2016 game against Minnesota, where things just turned around and we run the table. Listen, I think the potential so that 2016 team, we have a text group with a bunch of buddies that I went to Penn State with, and inevitably in that 2016 campaign from the Minnesota game on, it would be like, oh guys, what are you thinking here? And I would write onslaught, meaning onslaught is coming. And throughout that entire season, I would write onslaught, and then within the next quarter of play, 3 touchdowns would go on the board. It was incredible the way that team it does feel, and it's potential at this point, I will grant you. But with the home run hitters that they have at running back, with Drew Aller and what they have now in that receiving core, and certainly with this tight end room, right? Like it does feel like this offense has the potential to at least match, if not surpass, the scoring capability of that 2016 team, which it was magical. And Trace McSorley and his ability to just put that ball up and then guys would go make plays. Man, I sincerely hope that this game Saturday night is similar to that breakout game and everything just starts to click here. And listen, I don't think it's completely far-fetched, right? These guys put up some good numbers last year, and I think it is an improved receiving core that Penn State has, and I think we've seen some glimpses through the first 3 games that, these guys can go make some plays and make something special happen downfield. Now let's go see that happen along with the effective running game against a top 5 or 6 opponent.
Well, that'd be nice. So in 16, it was the Moorhead syndrome that we had just, it was his the 3rd or 4th game into the season. We hadn't hit our stride yet, and then we hit it.
Yep.
And then it was lights out for the rest of the year, because that was the year we lost to Michigan by 50 points out there. Remember, they had all the, we had a 16-string linebacker out there.
Correct.
Remember?
Yeah, I was going to say they let Ironhead and I take a few snaps at linebacker in the 4th quarter of that game.
Absolutely, that's what happened. So, I could see that where it just clicks this weekend, because everybody and their mother, including the 3 of us, were talking about this whole offseason. The 3 preseason games, stay healthy, don't get hurt. Let's get into Oregon ready to go and this and that, and we have not hit that stride, because I would have liked to have hit that stride in those first 3 games, and we never have. So, I mean, this is going to be one of those things. And when it happens, I think it's going to happen and happen in a Helen.
Goon, where do you see the biggest difference between this offense and that 2016 offense?
I mean, we got Saquon Barkley out there. He's a generational guy out there, but our offensive line is so much better right now.
That's the answer. That's where games are won and lost. The line of scrimmage.
Put the faith in these guys. I mean, get James in the pregame locker room and just say, listen, I'm talking to you off 5 offensive linemen and your tight ends right now. Your game's on your shoulders right now. Do you want to be the leaders you guys think that you are? Do you guys think we're the team that you guys want to be? I'm going to put this on you. We're going to run this ball until we win this. We're going to constantly pound this ball. We need to make this happen, and I'm putting it on the offensive line and seeing how they react.
Love it.
Yeah, I do think I'm with you. I don't think there's any question the offensive line is the biggest difference between that 2016 team and this team. That 2016 team, really, in a lot of ways, like what Indiana is doing with Cignetti. Well, Indiana is not capable right now of going out and just, we're going to blow Ohio State or Michigan or Penn State off the line of scrimmage. So they're winging the ball around, and they're doing it very effectively. They are executing at a very high level. And that was, the thing that just used to crack me up is that there's the segment of the fan base that's never happy. It's like, McSorley just keeps getting lucky. He just keeps throwing the ball up there. And these guys, at some point, you gotta concede that, well, maybe he's throwing the ball up where it needs to be thrown. Like it's a little more than just luck when you're getting these plays week after week, game after game being made. Maybe there's something more than luck at play here. And listen, I do think, you have to have receivers that can go make plays for you. And that is the thing to me that is a reason for optimism about this year's team, is even if, and yes, I think this team with what it has with the offensive line and the running backs should be able to run against anybody, any circumstance. They are good enough up front. They have enough talent in that backfield. It doesn't matter if Georgia or Ohio State is stacking the line of scrimmage. They should be able to get those tough yards when they need them. But also, again, you have a veteran quarterback who has a great group of tight ends, and I think you have at least 3. And I really think I'm feeling pretty comfortable with 5 receivers now that Penn State can roll out there that can go make some plays. Now, a couple of them need to do it. I'll concede in big circumstances here. We need to see it. But I think I like what they have at least 5 deep here within that receiving core, so that even if you get into a circumstance where somehow Ohio State is, we are not going to let you run the ball. Okay, this team, this offense constructed the way it is, should be able to take advantage of that and be able to produce anyway. That balanced attack that teams want to have, this team should be able to produce. And I'm with you. I like the idea of just ripping the soul out of the defense by pounding the ball and doing like Michigan did to Penn State a couple of years ago, where you just run the ball nonstop and there's just no answers on the other side. I do love that, but I also Penn State doesn't have to just rely on that. They should be able to beat you a bunch of different ways.
I agree. And we should be able to beat these guys in a bunch of different ways.
Yeah,
we are older men playing against younger. We are a veteran team playing against a young team.
Yeah,
we should go out there and impose our will on these guys. Yes, they are young. They don't know what they're doing and stuff like that. So go out there, be a veteran team. You know what you're doing. Go out there, do your job. Coaches all the way down to the players. Everybody just do your job. Nobody's going to do everybody else's job or do this or do that. Go out, do your job, go 1-0 on that play, on each player, and you're going to win this game going away, in my opinion. A lot easier said than done. A lot easier.
Well, I think that is so. To me, a lot of different keys and all of the things that we've been talking about, but I talked about it on Tuesday on the defensive side. Like, stay with your assignment. Don't get eyes big, because you see, if you have contain and keep contained, do, as you're saying, do your job. And I think that's the one concern on the defensive side, especially when you get the emotions and you get something, that's you're rocking, and then you see a chance. Well, I know this is my job, but man, I can just take a couple steps here and make this big play and get this crowd into it, and then all of a sudden the big play goes the other way. So I think that it has to be a big point of emphasis. And yeah, offensively, I think it is much the same thing in that take what is there. If the home run ball is there, take it for sure. But if it's not there, don't try to create it. If you're Drew Aller, and you need to eat the ball on a play, eat it. And again, I think Drew's at the point in his career where he gets it, and we can take a sack, or I can certainly throw the ball away and live to play another day, rather than and again, understand situational football and all of that. But if it's early in the game and it's a 2nd and 5, eat the ball or throw it away, more ideally, and live to play another day. Now, if it's fourth quarter, you're down by 10 and you're dry. Yeah, okay, now you got to try to figure out a way to get that ball right where it needs to be delivered and all of that. But I just, both sides of the ball, I do think if Penn State just does its job, carries out its assignment, Penn State, again, is the better team, should win the game.
Yeah, I mean, Butch, I'm going to cut you off here. Just our defensive line and their offensive line being the young guys and stuff like that, and playing in this environment, how loud it's going to be. Get on these guys early. Get on them often. Have these offensive tackles on their heels. We have the defensive ends to be able to do this. And if these guys can't hear the snap call and Denny Sutton is coming around the corner, I mean, it's going to Tom Bahali, second Troy Smith type of atmosphere on Saturday night. If we can get something like that going on.
Yeah,
big words.
I mean, again, I'm probably speaking right to your heart when I say I think line of scrimmage, both sides of the ball, can be critical in this one. And flip side of it, man, to go back to the O-line, our offensive tackles handled the Oregon pass rush in the Big Ten championship game. Drew Shelton and Nolan Rucci both took reps against Mateo Uiagalelei, who's their number 1 pass rusher, and stoned him completely in Indy. Yeah, you like that? I've been working on it.
That's 3 times quick.
And
Booch has it down.
I think if they can play even 80% of the game they did against Oregon in Indy last year, the Ducks are going to struggle to get pressure on Drew Aller with 4. And then that is going to require that they bring other guys if they want to get pressure. Now, they're going to show all kinds of false fronts, right? So part of it is just going to be our ability to recognize what they're doing and react to it. But going back to what I said in the first hour, I think what we have seen from Luke Reynolds so far this season gives me every indication that he is ready to take over as the next dominant tight end in a long run of them. I'm really going all the way back to when Jesse James was here under Bill O'Brien. He's just been one NFL tight end after another. And I think if you are forcing Oregon to bring additional guys to get pressure, that's going to open up room and space for Luke Reynolds to eat. And Drew Aller is clearly already very comfortable finding and throwing to him. So I think we could have a big Luke Reynolds night incoming.
Oof. Yeah, I think so too. I also just in terms of the line of scrimmage, and at the end of the day, to me, last year's Big Ten championship game was really won by Dylan Gabriel. He had a phenomenal game. I know a bunch of guys did for Oregon, but that guy was it was amazing to watch.
Some nights the quarterback
execute.
makes throws, you see him connect on those throws, and you just think, oh, okay, not happening tonight, huh?
Yep. And listen, I just think, while I think Dante Moore is a wonderfully gifted passer and also an outstanding runner, and I think he is a very good quarterback, Gabriel did what he did on a neutral field, right, in the Big Ten championship game. Listen, the way he played that night, maybe even at Beaver Stadium, he's too much. I think it is almost impossible for me to imagine Moore is going to be able to replicate that kind of a performance, which I think Oregon is going to need from him in order to get the W here Saturday night against this Penn State defense environment. Again, as I've been saying, if Oregon gets out of that game with 0 false starts, hats off, I will say, to Dan Lanning and that offensive line, all the credit in the world. That is an amazing job of coaching and discipline and all of it. I just, over the course of 4 quarters, I cannot believe that there won't be 2 or 3 of those situations, and that over the course of 4 quarters, there won't be a moment or two where Moore just doesn't see the pressure coming, or maybe sees pressure later in the game that isn't there, starts seeing or hearing footsteps. I just, again, I think the combination of Penn State's defensive line and that crowd make it very unlikely that Oregon is just going to have that type of consistent, sustained passing game success here on Saturday night. And that is a large part of why I think Penn State ultimately gets the win. That is going to be the last word. I didn't mean for that to be the last word, to take it myself, but we are flat out of time. So, folks, get out there, enjoy the game. We will be back on Tuesday to talk about it and have a lot of fun. Goon and Landon Tengwall will also be at the Student Bookstore on Sunday morning.
10 a.m.
We will have that show for you from 10 to 11, and then we'll join the Steelers game in progress.
We preempted the Steelers.
Yes, indeed. We got to talk whiteout at 11 o'clock. Players show is on Monday night as well, and then again we'll be back with another edition of the Lion Country Kia Goon and Ironhead show come next Tuesday. Until then, be good, be safe, and be loud.
No one likes making trips to the gas station. Well, Lion Country Kia can help. If you're tired of going to the gas station all the time, Lion Country Kia can help with the 2025 Kia Sportage Hybrid. Save now with 2.9% APR financing for up to 48 months. And get $500 Kia Finance bonus cash. There's 14 available that get 38 MPG combined. Say goodbye to all those pump visits. 2025 Kia Sportage Hybrids start at just $32,285. And be sure to check out the full Kia lineup too. And their selection of certified pre-owned Kias. Remember, every new Kia comes with a 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain warranty. Ease that pain at the pump with a 38 MPG combined 2025 Kia Sportage Hybrid from Lion Country Kia, 1334 Drivable Street off Shiloh Road behind Sam's Club, State College. Warranty is a limited powertrain warranty. For details, see dealer or go to kia.com.
If you love wings, if you love rings, and all kinds of other tempting things, great times, great food, get to Quaker Steak Lube.
Get our Best Wings USA, signature sauces, mouth-watering appetizers, or any of our delicious award-winning lube favorites.
Great times, great food, get to Quaker Steak Lube.
I'm the Modelo Recruiter, and I'm looking for fans with good hands and great speed. The ones who stay focused and never miss a play. They go the distance on game day, even when their team is away. I'm always watching, always looking to reward more full-time fans. Because football isn't really football without you.
A lot has changed about State College. One thing that hasn't is W.C. Clark's Coffee Roasters on 234 East Calder Way. 30 different varieties of specialty coffee beans sourced from over 25 countries and roasted with love each morning in Happy Valley for over 45 years. They'll ship their fresh roasted coffee from their doorstep to yours. Order online at statecollegecoffee.com. That's statecollegecoffee.com.
Hi, welcome to Timberland Federal Credit Union, a financial cooperative for its members, tracing all the way back to 1973.
Experience Timberland Federal Credit Union, where you're greeted with a smile and financial solutions are tailored to your unique life journey. Here, we're not just financial professionals, we're your neighbors. People invested in your financial needs, literacy, and empowerment. Your dreams matter to us, whether they're about buying a home, growing a nest egg, or embarking on new adventures. TFCU draws from the past and invests in the future, offering modern tools like online banking to give you the freedom to manage your money practically anytime. Additionally, we're passionate about giving back both time and resources because enhancing our community is at the core of why we're here. Visit TFCU in person or online to learn more about our services and apply for a membership today.
WFXS, once again, your sports radio.
Broadcasting live, loud and proud from Central PA's Sports Authority, WFXS America.
98.7 The Fox State College, the Goon and